The stars above Earth had been silent for a long time. Humanity had spread to the colonies, built ships, and traded across systems. Yet Earth itself had become quiet. It was no longer the center of the galaxy. It was only a memory of where everything began. But under the ground, far below the mountains and oceans, something was sleeping. It was old. Older than the first human starship. Older than the colonies themselves. It was hidden in a chamber of stone and steel, waiting for a signal that had not come for thousands of years. On this night, the signal finally arrived. It was not sent by humans, it was not sent by allies. It came from the dark side of the galaxy, a low pulse, like the heartbeat of a monster waking up. The signal touched Earth's atmosphere, and the old chamber answered. The Guardian awoke. Its eyes were not eyes, but burning orbs of light. Its body was not flesh, but a machine carved with human hands long ago. It rose slowly from the chamber, shaking off dust that had waited for ages. For the first time in centuries, the Guardian breathed power. It did not remember everything, its memory was broken. Yet one command still burned inside its core. Protect Earth no matter the cost. The Guardian scanned the sky. It saw the stars. It saw ships passing near, and it felt confusion. Humanity had changed. Humanity had grown far beyond what the creators had known. But the danger was still real. The darkness that the Guardian was built to fight was moving again. Meanwhile, in orbit above Earth, a small human ship drifted. It was only a survey craft. Its crew of 4 were scientists. They were scanning radiation bursts, and they did not expect to see anything strange. Then their sensors screamed, "Captain, something is rising from under the planet," one of them shouted. At first they thought it was a natural quake, then they saw it. The Guardian rising, a giant machine covered in strange marks older than any human design, glowing with power that should not exist anymore. The crew stared in silence. Hearts racing, they whispered, "What is that? Is it alien? Is it ours?" No answer came, but the Guardian turned its head, and for the first time in centuries, it looked at humans again. It remembered voices from the past, voices that told it to protect, voices that trusted it. But these humans were different. Their ships were different, their faces were unknown, yet the Guardian felt something familiar. The spark of humanity, the same courage that once created it. Down below, in the hidden chamber, screens flickered to life. Old warnings repeated. Enemy approaching, prepare defenses. The Guardian felt the pulse of that ancient signal again, and deep in the black of space something stirred. An alien fleet far away caught the same pulse. Their leader opened eyes like burning coals and said, "The Guardian lives again. We must move." The humans in the survey ship sent reports back to the colonies. Commanders argued, some said it was dangerous, some said it was hope. But the Guardian did not wait for their choice. It rose higher into orbit. Its voice carried across every channel, a voice deep and powerful. Darkness comes. Prepare or perish. The message spread like fire. Across Earth, across colonies, across the fleets, many laughed at it, calling it a broken relic. Others feared it, whispering of old legends. Only a few understood that this was not madness. This was warning. The Guardian felt torn. Its broken memory whispered names, faces of the old humans who once built it, who gave their lives to prepare it for war. And now it stood alone, surrounded by children of those same humans, children who did not know what storm was coming. The scientists aboard the survey ship watched in silence. One of them whispered, "If this thing is telling the truth, then we are not ready," another answered. "If it is lying, then we are doomed anyway." Above them, the Guardian turned to the stars, scanning further, scanning deeper. The enemy's shadow was moving, great ships gathering, weapons burning. The same enemy it once fought was waking, and this time humanity had forgotten. Suspense thickened in the cold void of space. For the first time in centuries, Earth had a Guardian again. But the question remained, would humanity trust it, or fear it, and worse still, was the Guardian truly ready for the darkness that had returned? The silence of the stars would not last much longer. The forgotten signal had been heard, and the war for Earth's survival had begun. The Guardian drifted above Earth, its frame glowing with ancient power, its mind awakening slowly like a door opening after centuries. It was alive, but it was not whole. Fragments of memory floated in its core, broken pieces of the past waiting to be joined. Inside the Guardian, voices whispered, not human voices of today, but voices from long ago. Engineers, soldiers, leaders, all speaking as if they had left their words carved into its soul. One voice repeated above all, "Protect Earth no matter the cost." The Guardian searched its memory banks. Images flickered, a city burning under alien fire, human fleets shattered but fighting bravely, scientists working deep underground to build it, their faces tired but their eyes filled with hope. They poured everything they had into this machine, and then they were gone. The Guardian remembered standing in that chamber, silent as the last of its creators sealed it away. They promised to return. They promised to wake it when the time was right, but they never came back. Humanity left, spreading to the stars, forgetting the weapon they had left behind. For the Guardian, it felt like one long dream. Now it woke to find a world it did not know. Humans with strange ships, strange clothes, strange ways, yet still human. The spark of the same creators burned in their eyes, but weaker, softer, distracted by peace. The Guardian tried to connect to old defense networks, but they were gone. The satellites it once commanded were dead. The weapons it once controlled were broken. Only fragments remained. Yet the ancient signal was clear. The enemy was alive and it was coming. Far away in the colonies, human leaders argued. Some believed the Guardian was a threat, an old weapon that might turn against them. Others feared the alien signal it spoke of. Why would it wake now unless danger is real? One commander said. But his words were drowned in debate. On the survey ship orbiting Earth, the scientists who first saw the Guardian could not stop watching it. One of them, a young woman named Lyra, studied its movements. She whispered, "It is searching for something, like it is trying to remember who it is." Her captain shook his head. "Or it is planning to destroy us." But the Guardian did not strike. Instead, it reached into the void, scanning deeper than human sensors could ever reach. In its fractured memory, it found flashes of the enemy, tall figures with burning eyes, ships shaped like blades of night. They were called the Eclipsed Ones, the destroyers of stars. The Guardian remembered fighting them once, humans standing beside it, fleets of steel and fire, voices shouting orders, courage shining brighter than the darkness. It remembered victory, but it also remembered sacrifice. Billions gone, worlds reduced to ash. The war had been won only because the Guardian and its creators gave everything. Now the same darkness stirred again, and the Guardian's heart, if it had one, burned with conflict. Should it trust these new humans who had forgotten their own past? Or should it fight alone like a relic of a dead age? The Guardian reached out, and for the first time, it spoke not as a machine but as something more. Its voice carried into Lyra's ship directly. "I am the Guardian of Earth. I was built by your ancestors. I was made to fight the darkness that stirs again. But I am broken. I need humanity to remember me." As I remember them, the crew froze. Silence filled the cabin. Lyra stared wide-eyed. It remembers," she whispered. Her captain frowned. "Or it lies," but inside even he felt a chill. The machine spoke with sorrow, not with threat. Back on Earth, the Guardian landed briefly. Touching soil for the first time in ages, its sensors scanned the ruins of old cities, places where it once fought alongside humans. It found broken monuments, stones carved with words it barely recalled. To those who gave all for tomorrow, the Guardian felt a weight in its core. It remembered their faces, their sacrifices, their trust, and now it looked to the stars, wondering if the new humans could be the same. Could they fight with the same fire, or had peace made them weak? In the distance, beyond human reach, the enemy stirred. Their fleets gathering like storm clouds, their leader hissed. "The Guardian awakens, the humans forget. This is our chance to end them." The Guardian knew it was running out of time. Memories returned faster now, each one sharper but also more painful. Every memory was a reminder of blood, war and sacrifice, and with each vision, the Guardian's resolve hardened. It could not run, it could not hide. It was built for this moment. Above Earth, its eyes glowed brighter. As if fueled by its own memories, it spoke again, its voice echoing across every channel. "I remember who I am. I am the last wall between Earth and the darkness, and I will stand." The humans who heard these words fell into silence. Fear mixed with awe. The Guardian had remembered, and with its memory came a warning. The true war had not even begun. Suspense filled the skies once more. For the Guardian had awakened, but so had the darkness, and soon, humanity would be forced to decide whether to fight beside their forgotten protector, or face extinction alone. The Guardian stood silent in orbit, its frame shining faintly against the cold dark. Humans across colonies argued about its return. Some called it hope, some called it danger. But one thing was certain, no one could ignore it. For centuries, Earth had been quiet, A cradle abandoned as humanity spread to the stars, but now the old world had spoken again, through a machine that should not have been alive, and its voice carried across channels, heavy like thunder. Darkness comes, prepare or perish. On the survey ship that first saw the Guardian, Lyra and her crew watched every movement with tense eyes. They were not soldiers, they were explorers. Yet fate had placed them here, the first witnesses to the awakening of Earth's protector. "Why does it look at us like that?" whispered one crew member. As the Guardian's glowing eyes turned slowly toward their small ship, it was as if the ancient machine could see into their very thoughts, measuring their fear. Weighing their courage, Lyra leaned forward, her hand trembling on the console. "It is not looking at us as enemies," she said softly. "It is searching for something." But her captain shook his head. "Machines do not search for trust, they calculate." Remember that before they could argue more. The Guardian reached out again, not with weapons, but with voice. Its deep tone filled the ship's comms. "Children of Earth, I know your kind, I was made for you. I have waited for you." The words froze the crew. Hearts beating like drums, never had a machine spoken with such weight, such sorrow, such memory. Back on the colonies, leaders received the same message. Their screens lit up with the Guardian's form. Some gasped, others scoffed, but all listened as the voice continued. "Your ancestors made me, they gave me purpose. I fought beside them when the stars turned black. I kept their secrets when they fell. Now the same darkness stirs again. I call to you not as master, not as slave, but as protector." The room of human leaders erupted into chaos, some shouting for trust, others demanding its destruction. "If it was built to fight, it will bring war with it," one politician roared. "If it is telling the truth, then war is already coming," another replied. But far above their arguments, the Guardian waited. It did not demand, it only warned. Its patience was a weapon stronger than any beam or missile. Meanwhile, word of the Guardian spread to the people. Ordinary humans in colonies and ships heard rumors, saw images. Stories grew like fire. Some spoke of an angel of steel returning to defend them. Others whispered of a cursed relic that would betray them. The galaxy was divided. On the survey ship, Lyra pressed a button, her voice trembling but steady. "Guardian, if you truly protect Earth, prove it. Tell us what hunts us." Silence followed. Then the Guardian's answer came. "They are called the Eclipsed Ones. Destroyers of stars, they rise again. I fought them once with your ancestors, and I remember the fire. I remember the cost. Images streamed suddenly across their screens, not from their sensors, but from the Guardian itself, visions of the past. Fleets burning, humans screaming, worlds falling to ash, and at the center, monstrous ships shaped like black wings blotting out suns. The crew gasped. One man covered his eyes, another cursed under his breath. Lyra whispered, "This is what it remembers. This is what is coming." The Guardian's voice returned, heavy with grief. "I am broken. I cannot fight them alone. I need you. I need humanity's courage again." For the first time, the Guardian did not sound like a machine. It sounded like something alive, something pleading, and that unsettled the humans even more. On the colonies, reports clashed. Some commanders prepared fleets to investigate. Others prepared weapons against the Guardian itself. Fear clouded judgment, but one truth remained. The Guardian was not silent. It wanted contact, it wanted unity. Far beyond human borders, the Eclipsed Ones stirred. Their fleets gathered in shadow. Their leaders sneered. "The Guardian dares speak to the humans again. Let it, they will argue, they will waste time, and when we strike, their protector will watch them fall." But the Guardian felt their movement even across the void. It turned toward the black horizon of stars, whispering words too quiet for humans to hear. "I remember you, and I will not let you take them." Lyra's captain stood silent, staring at the machine outside their ship. At last he spoke, his voice heavy. "If what it says is true, then humanity must choose quickly, trust it or fight it, because waiting will kill us all." The Guardian waited still, glowing faintly, carrying the weight of history, offering not domination but warning, offering not chains but memory. And across the galaxy, humans began to realize this was no ordinary machine. This was a voice from their forgotten past, a voice that had bled for them once, a voice calling them to stand again. Suspense wrapped the stars. For the first contact between the Guardian and humanity was not fire, not battle, but words. Words heavy enough to decide the fate of every world. Far beyond the colonies, beyond the reach of human maps, there was a shadow. It drifted across the stars like a storm, silent, patient, waiting for the right time. Now the signal had reached them. and they awakened. The Eclipsed Ones had slept as long as the Guardian, their fleets hidden in black nebulae, their hives carved into the bones of dead stars. They remembered the last war. They remembered the humans, small and fragile yet dangerous. They remembered the machine, the Guardian, and the fear it brought to their kind. Now their leader stirred, a figure taller than any human. Its body like a living shadow, eyes glowing red like fire, it rose from its throne of bone and iron, its voice echoing through the minds of its commanders. The Guardian lives again. The humans have forgotten the war. This is our chance. We will finish what we began. Across the darkness, alien ships powered up, blades of metal shaped like wings of night, each vessel designed to strike terror. They moved in silence, but their numbers grew like a swarm. They had waited for this moment, to crush humanity before it remembered its own strength. Back in the human colonies, news of the Guardian spread. Many refused to believe the warnings, some called it lies. Others whispered of old stories told by ancestors. Stories of monsters that came from the dark, stories that had been forgotten because they were too frightening to remember. The Guardian watched all this from orbit above Earth, its sensors reaching far. It felt the movement in the void, like a heartbeat of something evil. It spoke softly, not to humans this time, but to itself. They rise again, and humanity still sleeps on the survey ship. Lyra and her crew received new data from the Guardian. More visions, clearer this time. Alien fleets moving, strange signals of energy. Coordinates marked in red. Her captain frowned. If this is real, then they are already close, Lyra whispered. Why would it lie? It has nothing to gain. She looked at the Guardian outside their window. It is afraid even if it will not say it. For the first time, the Guardian felt something strange within its core. Doubt. It knew the enemy was strong, stronger than before its own systems were damaged. Its memory fractured if humans did not stand with it. The war would be lost before it began. In the colonies, leaders argued harder. One commander slammed his fist on the table. If this machine is right, then we face extinction. But if it is wrong, then we are preparing for war against shadows, another answered. Shadows kill as easily as fire, we must act. But while humans hesitated, the Eclipsed Ones moved. Their leader raised a hand, pointing toward human space. Begin the first strike. Burn their outer colonies, let them taste fear. And when they beg for mercy, we will show them none. And so the first colony burned. It was a mining station near the edge of human territory. Small and unguarded, the attack came without warning. Black ships appeared from nothing. Weapons slicing through metal like paper. Screams filled the void as the colony shattered. No survivors escaped. The Guardian felt it instantly. Its sensors screamed, a flood of signals of death and fire. It turned its head sharply, glowing brighter. They have begun, it said, its voice heavy. The darkness has revealed itself. The message spread quickly. Reports of the destroyed colony reached the colonies. Panic rose. People fled into ships, leaders argued louder. The Guardian was right, some cried. We must follow it, others still resisted. No, it brings danger with it. Destroy it before it betrays us. The Guardian did not respond to their fear. Instead, it focused on the stars. Scanning deeper, it saw more fleets gathering. Not just one, but many. Like rivers of shadow flowing toward human space. On the survey ship, Lyra whispered. We are not ready for this, her captain nodded grimly. But maybe that thing is. If we stand beside it. The Guardian remembered its creators. Humans who once fought without hesitation. Who gave their lives to win, it whispered into the void. Your children must remember you or they will fall. In the enemy fleet. The leader hissed with satisfaction, watching the humans panic. They are weak, they argue. They fear, and soon they will break. The Guardian cannot save them. But even as it spoke, it felt unease. The Guardian's presence was strong. Too strong to ignore. The stage was set. The darkness had revealed itself. Humanity stood divided. And the Guardian, broken but determined, prepared for the war it was built for. Suspense filled the galaxy. The enemy had made its move. And now the true battle for survival was no longer a warning, it had already begun. The flames of the first colony still burned in the void. Metal scattered, lives lost, families silenced. It was the first strike of the Eclipsed Ones, and it would not be the last. Across human colonies, panic spread like fire. News traveled faster than ships, faster than reason. People whispered of black fleets appearing from nowhere, tearing through stations, vanishing into shadow. Many asked the same question, what now? The Guardian watched from orbit. its glowing eyes fixed on the stars. It could feel the enemy gathering, larger fleets moving in silence. It sent another warning, its voice heavy. The darkness has awakened, and this is only the beginning if humanity does not rise.
All will fall, but humans were divided in the Council of Colonies.
Leaders argued until their voices broke. Some demanded war, others demanded peace. Some said the Guardian was their only hope. Others said it was a trap. One leader stood, her voice sharp. We cannot trust a relic that appears only when death comes. What if it serves the enemy? What if it turns against us? Another leader slammed his fist. You saw the colony burn, you saw the black fleets. The Guardian warned us before it happened. Are we so blind that we ignore the truth? The chamber filled with shouting. The choice of humanity hung in the balance. On the survey ship, Lyra watched quietly. She could feel the weight of history pressing on her chest. They will waste time fighting each other, she whispered. Her captain nodded bitterly. Humans have always done that, even in the face of fire, but the Guardian was not patient this time. Its voice thundered into every channel, reaching every human ship, every colony. The Eclipsed Ones do not wait. They do not speak, they only destroy. I was made to fight them, but I cannot do it alone. Choose, stand with me, or stand aside. The word silenced billions. For the first time, the Guardian's tone was not sorrowful. It was commanding. It demanded choice, not delay. In the council, silence fell for a long moment. Then a young commander rose, his voice calm but firm. The Guardian speaks truth. Our ancestors built it for this reason. We have forgotten, but forgetting does not erase danger. We must fight, but fear still ruled many hearts. Others shook their heads. We are not ready. Our fleets are scattered, our weapons weak if we fight now. We will lose everything. The Guardian listened, its broken memory showing flashes of the past. Humans once stood tall even when outnumbered. They had no choice then, and they had no choice now. It whispered inside itself. They must remember what it means to be human. Then came another attack. Another colony near the edge of space burned. Black ships arrived, destroyed, and left within minutes. The survivors screamed across the channels. The darkness is here. The council was shaken. Fear clawed deeper, but so did anger. For the first time in centuries, humans felt the weight of extinction pressing on them, the weight their ancestors once carried. Lyra stepped forward on her small ship, recording a message, her voice clear. I saw the Guardian, I heard it. It is not our enemy. It remembers us, it remembers what we lost. If we do nothing, we will burn one by one, but if we fight together, we have a chance. Her words spread across the networks, not as command, but as plea. Many ordinary people listened. Workers, soldiers, families, and for the first time, they began to choose, they began to prepare, not because their leaders told them, but because their hearts told them. The Guardian saw this and felt a spark inside its broken frame. Hope, its voice softened. Your ancestors trusted me. They gave everything. I carry their memory. But it is you who must choose if that memory lives or dies. In the enemy fleet, the leader of the Eclipsed Ones laughed. They argue, they break, they fall into fear. Their protector cannot save them from themselves. Yet even it felt unease, because whispers of unity began to move among humans, a fire it had seen before, a fire that once burned its armies to ash. The choice was not simple, but the choice had to be made. Fight or fall, trust or fear, stand or scatter. The council did not end in agreement. Some still resisted, some still feared. But across the colonies, across the ships, ordinary humans began to rally. Fleets gathered, weapons loaded, not with confidence but with desperation. With courage born from fear, the Guardian turned its gaze to the stars, feeling the enemy closing in. They will come soon, stronger, faster, but humanity will stand. I will not abandon them, it whispered, its core glowing brighter, and in that moment, humanity's choice was not written in words. It was written in action, in the gathering of fleets, in the prayers of families, in the courage of soldiers, in the memory of ancestors. Suspense filled the void. Humanity had not spoken with one voice, but it had begun to move. The choice of humanity was not yet final, but the path had been opened. The Guardian waited, watching, knowing the true storm was near. The enemy would strike harder, darker, and when that moment came, humanity's choice would decide everything. The stars trembled with fire. The enemy had come again, this time not to burn a small colony, but to strike at the heart of humanity's borders. Their fleets poured out of the dark like rivers of black flame. Wings of steel blotting out the suns. On every human channel, alarms screamed. Colonies shouted for help. Families fled into ships. Soldiers armed themselves. Humanity had made its choice. And now the time for words was over. The time for battle had begun. The Guardian rose from orbit above Earth, its frame glowing like a burning star, its broken system straining but alive. Its voice thundered across the fleets. The last stand begins now. Do not fear the dark. Fight it. Human fleets gathered. Hundreds of ships, some large, some small, not built for war but converted in desperation. Their weapons were weaker, their armor thinner, yet their hearts burned, for they knew this was not a fight for land, not a fight for riches, but a fight for survival. On the bridge of one human battleship, Commander Rin stood tall, sweat on his forehead, eyes sharp. Form the line, no ship breaks, no ship runs. We fight together, his crew shouted in unison, voices trembling but strong. The Guardian surged ahead, leading the fleet. Its weapons lit up the void, beams of light cutting through black ships. Explosions shook the silence of space. The first clash roared like thunder. But the enemy was vast. Their ships moved with precision. Their weapons sliced through human vessels like knives through paper. Cries filled the channels, ships burned, yet still they fought. Lyra watched from her survey ship, hidden at the edge of the battlefield. Her heart pounded as she recorded the fight. They are standing even when the darkness breaks their walls. They stand, she whispered. Her captain nodded. This is humanity. This is what the Guardian remembers. The Guardian fought fiercely, its frame glowing brighter with every strike, its memory guiding its aim. It remembered battles of the past. It remembered fighting beside humans long gone, and now it fought with their children, carrying their spirit. But the enemy revealed new weapons, beams of dark energy that twisted shields, explosions that consumed ships in seconds. The Guardian staggered under the assault. Its armor cracked, its systems screamed. The enemy leader hissed from the shadows, watching the fight. See how they fall. See how they break. The Guardian is old, broken. It cannot save them. Yet even as it spoke, it saw something strange. Human ships did not scatter. They did not flee. They fought harder, forming shields around each other, sacrificing themselves to protect weaker vessels. Their courage burned brighter than their weapons. Commander Rin's ship took heavy fire. Alarms blared, crew shouted, yet he stood firm. Hold the line. We are not fighting for survival alone. We are fighting to prove we are human. His ship burned, but it held. The Guardian felt this courage. It flowed into its broken memory like fuel. It whispered, "Yes, this is what I was built for. This is what they gave me, their will." And it surged forward again, striking harder, brighter, cutting through black ships with renewed fire. Still, the enemy pressed harder. More ships poured in, their numbers endless, their power crushing. Human fleets began to break. One by one, ships fell silent. Screams vanished into static. The line was dying. Then the enemy revealed its hidden weapon. A massive ship larger than a moon rising from the void, its surface covered in black fire. Its core glowing with energy strong enough to shatter planets. The Guardian froze for a moment, scanning it, its voice low. Planet killer. Panic spread through the human channels. Some cried, "It cannot be destroyed." Others screamed, "Retreat, we cannot face that." But the Guardian's voice cut through the fear, louder than the chaos. "Do not retreat. Do not fear. If we fall here, everything falls." The massive weapon charged. Light gathered at its core, enough to erase the entire human fleet. Time seemed to stop. Every soldier, every captain, every family holding their breath. The Guardian's core flared, its voice calm but fierce. "I remember the last time this weapon rose. My creators stood with me. They gave their lives. And we won. I will not fail them, and I will not fail you." It charged forward, glowing brighter than ever. Human ships followed, not because they thought they could win, but because they refused to give up. Courage stronger than fear. The void exploded with fire, light against darkness, courage against shadow. Humanity's last stand had begun. And in that moment, as ships burned and the planet killer prepared to strike, the fate of Earth, the colonies, and the future of humanity itself balanced on the edge of a single choice. Fight until the end or vanish into silence, the Guardian knew. There was no turning back. The last stand had only just begun. The battlefield burned, human ships shattered. Black fleets pressed forward, and in the center of it all, the planet killer glowed brighter, its core charging with enough power to erase everything in one strike. The Guardian floated before it, its armor cracked, its weapons failing, its systems screaming in pain. Yet its eyes still burned with light. It whispered to itself, I was made for this. I cannot fall, not while humanity still breathes. Across human fleets, despair grew. Commanders shouted orders, crews screamed as ships exploded. But no one retreated. They held the line, broken but unyielding, courage stronger than fear. On the survey ship, Lyra watched in silence, tears in her eyes. It cannot survive this. It is too damaged, she whispered. But deep inside she felt something stirring, a hope she could not explain. The Guardian remembered more. Flashes of the past, its creators gathered around it, their faces stern, their voices steady. When the darkness rises again, you will not fight alone. Your power is tied to us, to humanity, to their will. The memory struck like fire. Deep inside the Guardian's core, a hidden chamber opened, long forgotten, sealed by its creators, and within it burned the true weapon, not of steel, not of energy, but of unity. The Guardian spoke across every channel, its voice calm, steady. Humans, I carry the memory of your ancestors. I carry their strength, but I cannot awaken fully without you. I need your will, your courage, your fire. For a moment, silence filled the channels. Then voices rose, soldiers, workers, families, children, all across the colonies. Voices carried into the comms. We stand, we fight. We will not fall. The Guardian felt it. A wave of human spirit, not numbers. Not weapons, but will, flowing into its core, repairing what was broken, igniting what was lost. Its frame glowed brighter than ever, cracks sealing, power rising, not from itself, but from humanity. The enemy leader watched from its throne of shadow, its eyes narrowing. No, impossible, the machine is broken. It cannot rise again. Yet fear stirred in its voice, for it remembered the same light from long ago. The light that once burned its fleets to ash. The planet killer released its beam, a river of death rushing toward the Guardian and the human fleet. But the Guardian rose higher, its body blazing like a second sun. It spread its arms wide. Shields of pure energy burst outward, formed not of metal but of will. The beam struck, and for a moment the void was filled with blinding light. When the light cleared, the Guardian still stood, glowing brighter, stronger, alive. Its voice thundered, "You will not take them. Not while I remain." The human fleets cheered, voices shouting, courage blazing. They surged forward with the Guardian, striking at the black ships, cutting through the enemy with fire and steel. The Guardian turned its power on the planet killer, its eyes burning white, its voice calm. "You end now." It unleashed the hidden weapon of its core, a wave of energy born from the will of every human who still lived, a storm of light that cut into the massive ship. The planet killer trembled, its surface cracking, its dark core screaming. The enemy leader shrieked in rage, "No, not again. Not to them." But its words were drowned in the roar of destruction. With one final strike, the Guardian pierced the planet killer's heart. The massive ship exploded in silence, light spreading across the void, black fleets scattering in terror, their unity broken, their courage shattered. The battlefield grew quiet, only debris drifting, only silence left. But in that silence was victory. Human fleets stood scarred, broken yet alive. Survivors wept. Commanders lowered their heads, families prayed, and all of them looked to the Guardian, glowing faintly now, its power dimming after the storm. The Guardian's voice came soft, weary but strong. "You stood. You did not fall. This is why I was made. Not to fight alone, but to awaken the strength within you. Remember this, for the darkness will rise again, and only together will you survive." On the survey ship, Lyra smiled through tears, whispering, "It is not just a machine, it is our memory, our shield." Our voice from the past. Her captain nodded. "And maybe our guide for the future, far away, in the deepest shadow of the galaxy." The enemy leader survived, wounded, broken, but alive. It stared into the void and whispered, "The Guardian is strong, but it cannot watch forever and beyond the stars. Greater darkness waits." The Guardian felt this whisper too. Deep in its fractured systems, it knew the war was not over. It turned its gaze beyond the horizon, its eyes faint but steady. "I will be ready as long as humanity stands. I will stand," and so the battle ended. Not with silence, but with a promise humanity had chosen to fight. The Guardian had awakened to its true power, and the darkness, though beaten, still waited in the farthest reaches of space. The war for survival was not finished, it had only begun.